Hi, my name is Mike Ferguson of Intelligent Business Strategies. I want to tell you about my new class on creating data products in a data mesh, a lakehouse or data lake for use in analytics. The reason I put this class together is because for many organizations today, they've got multiple analytical systems, whether that's a data warehouse, it could be a data lake supporting data science projects. You could have graph databases supporting graph analytics. You could have streaming analytics, or all of those maybe running, some of them running in the cloud, some of them running on premises, some of them running at the edge. For example, streaming analytics on IoT devices. So looking at all of that, these are centralized architectures primarily, where data is brought to a centralized system, prepared, analyzed, and producing some kind of insights. Well, the problem with that is that each of these systems are running in a kind of siloed environment. And also there is repetition across them. Data integration, for example, used again and again to prepare data for different use cases for data science and the development of machine learning models. Also for preparing data to go into a data warehouse or to go into a graph database, or as input to a streaming analytics algorithm. So there's a lot of repetition going on, and the people doing the data integration tend to be either centralized IT professionals or maybe data scientists who are, let's say, a long way away from the sources of that data and don't understand the intricacies of the data in those data sources, as well as the business people who use that data every day would. And not only that, but as more and more data sources come on stream from digital transformation, implementation across a business, companies want to analyze all that data. And these centralized data engineering capabilities are becoming a bottleneck. And so giving rise to pressure to break that mold, if you like, and produce or have more and more people producing data for use in analytics out there in the business rather than just in a centralized department. So with that, that has spawned things like data mesh, also lake houses, bringing together the data warehousing and data lakes. And so what I want to do is look at the limitations of centralized architectures, look at the pros and cons of these new architectures, and understand the impact on your organization. What's it going to do to your data strategy? What's it going to do to your organizational setup in working with a business? In addition to that, I then want to look at, what are data producers and data consumers? I want to look at some of the methodologies that you would use in order to create data products. In other words, could we create reusable data sets once and then use them in multiple analytical workloads? Save yourself a lot of time, would shorten the time to value, hopefully improve data consistency, and ultimately, therefore, speed up the ability to make use of new data coming into the enterprise. So I want to look at what are the methodologies involved. I want to look at how you would go about producing data products. For example, using data catalogs and data fabric software. So I'll look at what those are and who the players in the market are and why these technologies are so important. What's the difference between, say, data fabric and all the existing IT and self-service data preparation tools that you may have in your organization already. So I want to look at those and the strengths of those technologies, and then how you can sort of look to find a way to organize this rather than just being completely decentralized, going from centralized IT to a decentralized environment. Is there any way to find some middle ground, maybe go to a federated organizational structure to coordinate and harness multiple teams in different parts of the business to produce data products for reuse around analytical workloads in the enterprise. So I want to look at how you could standardize the development and operating environment to make that possible, and what are the things that you would need to do there. I want to look at the ability about how you could organize storage in order to make that possible and help standardize that. I want to look at how you can select the right technologies to do that and get a step-by-step approach to data product development. And so we're going to look at using business glossaries to define data products. We're also going to look at how you go about building data ops pipelines in order to produce reusable data products in and around the enterprise. And what kind of practices like CI/CD and things like that should be incorporated into that development process to speed up and industrialize the pipeline development approach. And how we can get both a sort of self-service approach to doing this, but in a managed environment rather than a kind of Wild West situation breaking out across your enterprise. Also, I want to look at how you deal with complex data. What do you do if you need to process unstructured text or video or any of that in producing data products? I want to look at how do you share in a compliant way and be able to make data products available for others to shop for data and pick up and use around your organization. And I want to also look at the principle of implementing federated data governance to produce compliant data products so that everything is governed in a way that avoids you becoming non-compliant in the use of data, despite the fact that there are multiple teams producing data and there are many consumers around your organization wanting to use that data for analytical purposes. So there's a lot to cover in the 2 days, but it would be great to see you on the course and hopefully give you some really good kind of pointers and an action plan to go away with in how to really shorten the time to value with data and analytics in your organization. Okay, thanks a lot.